Hey, this has been on my mind for a bit. So this is going to be based on this is where's the camera? Right. This is Isaiah 6 verse 9 right here. So this is what I'm going to be going over, and this is the strange Bantu prophecy that's in the Bible. Isaiah 6 verse 9, it says, "Go tell this people." Now, when it says people, more often, like, people literally means Bantu, right? So it says, go tell these Bantu people, go tell these Hebrew people, go tell everyone who believes in me, right? Go tell these people, hear you indeed, but understand not. See you indeed, but perceive not. So this is the strange Bantu prophecy that's in the Bible. So why is God telling a prophet, Isaiah in particular, to go to these people and tell them a certain message? And why is this message so cryptic? So this is the strange occurrence that's happening. So to go deeper into this, I'm going to Acts 8, right? And in Acts 8, we have this story here, right? So this story is about this Ethiopian eunuch. All right, so Acts 8 and 20, 27. Let's read from 27. "And he arose and went, and behold, a man of Ethiopia." So Ethiopia, first of all, if you haven't seen the video on the ash tree, you should see it, because it has that picture of the ash tree, or the Bantu key of knowledge, which is the ash tree. So what it is the A and the E that's inverted, or that's merged, but then this was separated or dissected or deciphered. So Ethiopia is spelled with AE. So AE is here. Well, it's not in my version because this is a KJV Bible, but it is Ethiopia with an E, but Ethiopia with an E is literally a Ethiopia with an AE, not just an E. This is very important, and it goes into a lot of into a lot of things, because this is why it's like the Bantu key of knowledge. So you need to know it, because it seems so frivolous, or kind of like fringe or whatever, but it really applies to a lot of things, and most especially it applies to the Ethiopians in the ether, right? So here it says, "And he arose and went, and behold, a man of Ethiopia, a eunuch of great authority, under Kandake, or the Candace, or the queen of Ethiopians." All right. So it's interesting to realize that in Ethiopia, there's always been this kuremekeza is what? It's not veneration, honoring. Yes, to honor women. So, for example, the Queen of the South, also believed to be Ethiopian, is the Queen of Sheba, and so they've always been respectful. Not only respectful, but they actually honored the women. Not only honored them, but they were given high authority, not just esteem, but they were given authority. So that's how the Queen of Sheba comes with wisdom to search out more wisdom. And this situation is also about another Ethiopian. This is not a woman, this is a man, a eunuch, who was actually not generating any genes, but he was of high authority, right? And it's also interesting to realize that he actually had this book, where he got it, or how he got it, or why he had it. I don't know, but they had these books in Ethiopia, right? So when they come later on, and then they conquer Ethiopia, they conquer Africa, and then they say that, oh, people couldn't read and they couldn't write. This is not the case in the Bible. So, so he arose, a man of Ethiopia, a eunuch of high authority, and the Kandake queen of the Ethiopians, who had the charge of all her treasure, and had come to Jerusalem for to worship. Um, so he arose. So he had her treasure and had come to Jerusalem to worship. KJV language. He was returning and sitting in his chariot, reading Isaiah the prophet. So we're just reading Isaiah. That was the weird, strange Bantu prophecy. It comes from the book of Isaiah. So he was returning and sitting in his chariot, read Isaiah the prophet. And the Spirit said unto Philip, so the Spirit speaks, and you can literally hear it. But now the Spirit speaks through the ether. So ether is AE, and then when we take this word AE, like the A and the E, right? And then when you like flip it, the A becomes the E. So this is how you get EA, ear, and this is how you get EA, earth, and then this is also how you get heaven, earth, up, down, and this is within the scope of the ether. So the ear, the heart, the earth, all of them have this EA within them. The Ethiopian basically is also part of the ether. So the ether is a classical element that was among the fifth element, the quintessential element. So it's kind of like fire, but this fire is like water. So ether is like it's beyond our dimension, but it's the only way, from what I've seen, what I've heard, because that is literally what the substance of heaven is made about. So it's the only way to truly, literally, and spiritually communicate with God. So when the Spirit said to Philip, do this, he heard through the ear in the ether. So this was happening in the ethereal realm, and this is how it went down. So the Spirit said unto him, go near and join yourself to his chariot. Near, ear, near has, it's an ear with an N, right? And then Philip ran tethered to him and heard with the ear again, read as the EA again, and he's also the Ethiopian. And here Isaiah is spelled in EA, well ESA, but you know. And he said, understand, do you, and so now this is the key. This is why I'm now reading this to you, because of what the next two lines. He says, and Philip ran to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah and said, do you understand what you're reading? And he said, this is the Ethiopian. He said, how can I accept some man should guide me? And he desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him. And as the story goes, you can finish the story, but this is the part that I wanted us to go over. And he sits in the chariot, and then the Ethiopian is baptized, whatnot. So this is also tying into the origin of Christianity in Africa, which is believed to have come from Aksum. So this is also a whole other understanding that they had these cultures, Ethiopian and African cultures. This is Shem and Hem, and they had the same books. And this is also understood that at the highest authority of a treasurer, they also had this understanding or this learning of the Jews. Unlike the Gentiles, I don't think you would have found like these Canaanites going to worship in Jerusalem in such a way. Well, there's no instance of that happening in the Bible. This is happening with the Ethiopian. So now the Ethiopian is saying, how can I understand what is in this book unless someone explains it to me, interprets it for me? So this is the key, that the strange Bantu prophecy is in need of explanation. And for the Ethiopian needs to get like understanding, because it's not just enough to get knowledge. It's not just enough to even get wisdom, even though wisdom is the principal thing. but in all you're getting, get understanding. So there has to be someone for the Ethiopians' ether, again, to be able to draw near so that you can hear, right? And this is the catalyst for all the change that's going to happen on earth in the ether or through the ether. Because the story of Philip is the story of the ether. He was literally floating from place to place. Here it says he ran to him, right? And then he ran. I don't know how fast he was running. I don't know how he got so close to hear what he was saying. So that's why I'm saying this is an ether. This was all happening in the ether. So you have to grasp the concept of the ether, because right now my words are not going into your ear per se, but they're filtered through the ether. So they're filtered through the air, aer, air. So this air that we breathe is not just air, but it is a part of how we perceive like life, and how we interact with the ether determines how we are able to express the gifts that we have. So everybody, just like Philip had this gift, and I don't know if there's anyone who's ever written about a gift of running. I know Elijah, right? And Elijah, come on, like that's all about the ether.